what's that old saying? There's no hate quite like Christian love.
Right. But we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people. If you go into a crowd of strangers and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're black strangers, there is 30 times more danger.
I just love me some racism in the morning. It's fantastic, but it's not actually the focus of this video. No, see, the focus of this video is blending babies. Could you don't? So this is Pastor Joel Webbon, and he's got a bit of a storied history. So in 2012, he apparently had sexual relations with one of the members of his congregation without anybody knowing about it until like 10 years after the fact. Apparently in 2015 to 2020, he was accused of misappropriating church funds to develop his own ministry. And by the time we get to 2023, 7 officers from his former churches actually wrote letters documenting their personal concerns about him. Now, I'm not a Christian, I'm an atheist, so a church writing letters of recommendation, against you is not something that I generally would care about, but it is interesting to see how over the last decade and a half, apparently he has earned the ire of quite a few of his peers. Now, if you want a full deep dive into everything that this guy has done in his storied past, Eli McGowan actually has a whole write-up about this over on Twitter. And I've actually met Eli in the past. He's a really, really swell guy, and honestly, I think that his insights are very well worth listening to. That said, Right Wing Watch actually has a pretty good way of analyzing Joel Webbon. Just grab everything he says and talk about it on their website. And that actually makes my job very, very easy over here on YouTube. I'm actually curious what he feels about my channel. Hey, Joel, what do you think my channel's about?
It's faggotry.
Come again?
This is perverse, it's wicked, it's faggotry.
Yeah, that's about what I thought I heard. Okay, I guess this is gonna get kind of exciting now. I don't know, maybe there's some greater context to that clip. Maybe if we listen to the stuff from before and after, I don't know, maybe we'll see that he's actually a fairly reasonable guy.
Homosexuality is degenerate. It is bad for the populace. It's bad for society. It's been incredibly harmful. We've seen a full court press against our own children as the sacrificial lamb in order to appease older gay men and make them feel better about themselves. It's wicked.
Yeah. I love musicals too. Anyway, here's an advertisement. Hey, so this is actually going to be kind of weird, but today's video is sponsored by the city of Overton. Overton's a 3D printed 100% practical effect video game that really sits between the vibes of an ARG and a point-and-click adventure game. And the best part? I'm in it. I actually play the main character, Tim.
Dude, you broke down my door. I'm not going with you. Listen, I hate to bring this up, but I am clearly able to force you if I wanted to. So you, me, and the escape route now.
So if that's your jam, please consider picking up the game. There will be a link in the description below, and let's get back to the video.
Overton! My broken window theory, shattered glass, refracts the public query.
Ooh, what was that? A video game. Fuck you. Back to Joel.
It's predatory. And I think, it is appropriate for us to be able to call it what it is and say, wait a second, this is perverse, it's wicked, it's faggotry.
Alrighty, there were a lot of claims made there and not a whole lot of reasoning why. So let's go over them one by one, shall we? Now, what was claim 1 again?
Homosexuality is
Okay, thought so. That was the first one. All right, let's look up what the definition of degeneracy is. The state or property of being degenerate. Well, that doesn't help me. Maybe if I just click on this link here. To decline or deteriorate physically or mentally. So, what, being gay makes you mentally deteriorate? That's interesting. What is it in biology? To revert to a simpler form? Okay, adjective. Having lost the physical, mental, or moral qualities considered normal and desirable. There we are. That's all it is. He just thinks that gay people aren't normal. Like, I know we use the word degenerate because it's a far more hyperbolic, far more charged word, but ultimately you're basically just saying that something is not normal. Now, here's the thing. The claim that something is not normal, in Joel Webbon's hands, is to claim that the thing is undesirable and bad, but, Things don't have to be normal to be good. And there are plenty of normal, natural things that are not good. Like arsenic is natural, cancer is natural. There are normal, natural things about the human experience that are not good. So there was actually a pretty decent study on this the homosexuality thing in 2025 of all years. The year I'm recording this video. It actually goes over a lot of the science about how, prenatal hormonal exposure, epigenetics, all kinds of things, even social factors could possibly play a role in, being gay, and even how society as a whole has operated with homosexuality within it. The conclusion of that paper is that the evolutionary persistence of homosexuality is multifaceted, and it's shaped by a lot of different factors, but direct reproductive advantages are not actually observed in terms of, being gay. Most gay people generally do not procreate. The paper notes that while direct reproductive advantages may not be apparent, the indirect contributions of homosexual individuals to kin selection, social cohesion, and cultural evolution highlight their integral role in human societies. Future research should continue to explore these complex interactions, further enriching our understanding of the evolutionary dynamics of sexual orientation. In layman's terms, homosexual people don't generally breed, but they bring a whole lot of positives to the table for societal cohesion. So trying to argue that they're bad for society, it just kind of goes against science, honestly? I don't know, Joel. Next claim.
It is bad for the populace. It's bad for society.
So we've already gone over how it's not bad for society, and it's only bad for the populace if the populace has decreasing birth rates, overall. Not, oh my god, the white people aren't fucking enough and the black people might be fucking more and the black people are fucking the white people and replacing the white people with brown people. No, not that stupid shit. That's the great replacement theory. I've done videos on that pseudoscientific bullshit in the past. But if you want me to do another video on that, let me know in the comments section below. And while you're at it, I do want to tell you guys, if you do like fair and even-handed political discourse and you like somebody who tries to make this whole shebang, then perchance consider subscribing and letting a couple friends know what I'm doing over here on the channel. But I guess I have to actually look at this claim and see what the United States population numbers have been doing over the last few years. If I see that there's been a population decline, then sure, maybe having more gay people has impacted our society's ability to birth people. And if we look over at macro trends, we can see that the United States population from 1950 was at 148 million people, and today we're sitting at 343 million people, seeing a constant growth of anywhere between 1 and sometimes 10 million people per year. So I'd say our human population in the US is performing perfectly well. And the global population is doing about the same. So if they're not bad for the population stats, because our population is growing, and if they're not bad for societal reasons, because turns out there's actually contributions to society that are good, well, I don't know. I'd say this claim is basically bunk. So what's the next one, Joel?
We've seen a full court press against our own children as the sacrificial lamb in order to appease older gay men and make them feel better about themselves.
All right, so I can obviously look at the exact same paper I was citing 12 seconds ago and look at the bit about adoption. Homosexual individuals often contribute to society through adoption and child rearing. Studies show that children raised by same-sex couples exhibit similar developmental outcomes to those raised by heterosexual couples. And hey, there's even a link to a cited source. Why don't we go ahead and look at that here in just a second? This challenges stereotypes about parenting abilities based on sexual orientation and underscores the societal benefits of inclusive family structures. All right, cool. Then I guess that's going to be right over here. Boom. There's your citation. This foundational study for the study that we are looking at right now actually was written in 2013. And wouldn't you know, it's been cited quite a bit. This is an article that is good. When you're looking at sources, if you have something that's not like a meta-analysis based on a bunch of other previous studies, or has been made very, very recently, you want to see that that piece or that study was cited in other articles at least a few times. That's usually a pretty good qualifier. And hell, their findings indicated that there were more positive parental well-being and parenting in gay father families compared to heterosexual parent families. Wow, that's so weird. Almost as if every single word that Joel Webbon said was fucking wrong. So if the data hasn't been on your side for like anything you've said over the past 12 seconds, and you made a lot of claims back to back to back, what do we actually gain from this? Like, where do we go from here? Because you've basically gish-galloped a whole bunch of things. I've proven that each of them are wrong in about 7 minutes. So where does that leave us?
This is perverse. It's wicked. It's faggot.
Right, so the only thing we really have is name-calling. So I guess let's see how you justify that one, I guess. I mean, I don't see how that helps anybody.
And it needs to stop. I think that that's okay. Yes, you can use that word on occasion, as I just did, to say, no, we're not going to tolerate faggotry with our children. Cut it out. Stop it. Say Christ is Lord. Stop it. I do think that we can use some strong language. But again, but I don't want it to become so common that it's just, it's a constant flippant, I don't want the trivializing of language, but strong language, when you use it and you mean it, and it's on occasion. I don't think that it's a sin.
Well, as an atheist, I don't give a shit if it's a sin. If what I do offends God, then he can tell me himself. But since he's not going to do that, let's instead focus on the claim. The claim is that it's okay to use this language towards people because you really feel like you should. That's really what the claim is. I'm going to say it in the type of logic that I know only he would understand, and that is baby logic. I really feel like this is the word I want to use, and therefore that's the word he's using. And I'm going to be honest, whether or not I feel like it's okay for him to use the word, I feel like that's a really stupid justification. Because you can basically use that justification to engage in any type of harmful speech at all. You think genocide's okay because you really feel it in your of Howitt's. I honestly don't care what your sincerely held beliefs are. I don't care if you really feel something. I care whether or not the word is justified in being used here. And I'm going to be honest, outside of like private conversations with friends where you're using words because you know that you're not going to harm anybody, or things in your own private thoughts. Again, I don't believe in thought crimes. I don't believe doing things that don't cause harm is a fucking sin for atheists either. I do think that that's a word that we should not be saying out in public. Reason being, I do not think that a word that's only job is to demean, that's only job is to harm in a very specifically targeted way, is appropriate in most situations. And even if you are trying to claim that like you're on the right side of the Lord and you want to make sure people don't go to hell, so you're going to use strong language, I don't actually have to care about that. Because if the goal is for you to convince people to, I don't know, not be gay, then you're not going to convince it by calling them an F-slur. That's not going to do anything other than make them get defensive and make them sit in their corner and try to ignore everything you say. Which leads me to believe that Joel might be intelligent enough to understand that. He might know that using language like that does not actually help change the minds of anybody. And if that is the case, if he really does believe that, which again, I'm going out on a limb here, then the only possible option left is that the point of using the word is to engage in cruelty. And the only reason that somebody engages in cruelty on a camera is for it to be performative cruelty. And if you are engaging in performative cruelty, there are only a handful of reasons you're doing that. Usually it's people who are sad, angry, or insecure and really need a W. They really are not super happy or thrilled with their lives or how they're going, and so they will step on anybody at all in order to try to get a better place in life, even if that place is only in their own minds. If I can call somebody a disparaging term, I can dismiss everything they say, I can dismiss everything about their lived experiences, and I can exist solely as a person who has moral superiority over that person. This is a factor for a lot of people that causes us to talk past each other instead of talking with each other. So, Joel, Now that I've looked at the actual science and data and saw that you have no idea what you're talking about, and now that I've looked at the ideology that you have and basically came to the conclusion you're just engaging in cruelty for the point of being cruel, where does that leave us? It leaves us with you being cruel and ignorant, but all the information that I showed you has been available for a long time. Like the study that I was looking at, while from 2025, is using information that is at least 10 years old at this point. So if all the information has been available to you for a very long time, then you're not ignorant, you're stupid. And if somebody's cruel and stupid, then they don't even know why they're throwing their fist where they're throwing it. It's literally just a method to feel better about themselves. And that's honestly a little sad and pathetic, don't you think? Now, granted, I am strawmanning him a little bit here. I am creating a narrative about why he does the things he does. But I also don't think I'm terribly off base. But let me know in the comments section what you think. Maybe you've got a different idea of who he is and why he does what he does. Maybe you think performative cruelty has a purpose. And, you know, go ahead and justify that in the comments section. Let's see how well that goes for you, buddy.
To say faggot in its proper context. I think you can be a Christian who fears the Lord and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. You've got the San Francisco gay choir a couple years ago writing songs, and it was not a joke. They can claim in hindsight, oh, I was just kidding. It's not a joke. We'll convert your children. Now stop it, faggots. No, you will not convert my children. You're degenerates, you're predators, and you're evil.
Okay, so now we got to have a conversation about stochastic terrorism and look into his claim about the San Francisco choir. So, okay. What is stochastic terrorism? It is saying something into the aether in hopes that somebody randomly will latch onto it and engage in terrorism or engage in violence or engage in some type of negative behavior. So if I say, won't somebody rid me of this meddlesome priest? I did not enact violence. I did not incite violence, but I most certainly suggested that it would be opportune for somebody to engage in violence. So when you call people predators, and we as a society, all of us, generally speaking, have the shared idea that people who are child predators deserve violence to be done against them, when you call people who are simply gay predators, you are, by the very nature of how humans operate, arguing that those people deserve violence to happen towards them. And I think Joel would agree with me on that. In fact, I've listened to other things he said in the past, and yeah, the idea that violence should happen to gay people definitely crosses his mind quite a lot. But what about that choir ceremony? A bunch of choir boys telling us that we are going to convert you. It sounds kind of culty and sounds kind of weird, so let's go ahead and see what was going on there. So I actually have all of the lyrics to the song pulled up right here, and yeah, it does say we'll convert your children, but let's read the actual lyrics to the song real quick to kind of get an idea of what they're converting them to, you know? Because, like, Christians want to convert children as well, so obviously converting children alone, that's a values-neutral territory. So we'll convert your children happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you'll barely notice it. You can keep them from the disco, warn about San Francisco, make them wear pleated pants. We don't care. We'll convert your children. Now, that sounds really predatory, but wait a minute. Is this what they're converting them to? We'll make them tolerant and fair. At first, I didn't get why you'd be so scared of us turning your children into accepting, caring people. But I see now why you have a problem with that. Just like you worried, change their group of friends, you won't approve of where they go at night to protest. But when you'll be disgusted, so gross, when they'll start finding things online that you've kept far from their sight, like information, guess what? You'll still be all right. We'll convert your children, yes we will, reaching one and all. There's really no escaping it, because even Grandma likes RuPaul. And the world's getting kinder. Gen Z's gayer than Grindr. Learn to love, learn to vogue, face your fate. We'll convert your children. Someone's got to teach them not to hate. So, okay. I can see exactly what's going on here. This is a choir that has come up with a song solely to explain that because Christians have constantly tried to argue about the gays converting them, they're going, yeah, we do want to convert your kids. We want to convert them into people who aren't hateful monsters. We want to convert them into people who are tolerant and fair and enjoy life and themselves. And you. The "we're coming for your children" is obviously the joke, because gay people have been told that they're coming for the children for years. So people who've grown up in an environment with Christian extremists telling them that they are child predators constantly, eventually they're just going to lean into that and go, yeah, you're right. I am coming for your children. I want your children to not hate people. So yeah, I am trying to convert them into people who are not going to hate other people when they grow up. This is no different than the church trying to come for children. And God, I just realized I keep saying that phrase and somebody's going to clip it, and that's just genuinely awful. I'm already scared of the fan art y'all do. Don't touch this one with a 9-foot pole. But the church talks about converting children all the time. The church talks about coming for the children of people who are not Christian and trying to convert them at Bible camp and Awana clubs and all kinds of stuff. So really, Joel, it looks like your problem isn't that the gays are coming for your children. The problem that you have is that they might get to them before you and teach them to be inoculated from your brand of hate.
In the name of Jesus Christ, stop it. Back into the shadows, right? It's not whether but which. Every society will have a closet, and there will either be Christian children hiding in that closet with their parents ostracized from society, or you will have sexual degenerates in that closet. And so, yes, call me a radical. I think the sexual degenerates are the ones, the members of society that should be in the closet, not Christian families and their children.
So that's what this is really all about. It's about fear and projection. Now, the fear part is pretty obvious to understand. He's afraid of being made irrelevant. He's afraid of being made to be in the closet. But why does the closet exist? Well, the closet is a concept that almost unilaterally has applied to gay people or people who are in a minority group. So he's scared of Christians becoming a minority group and having to go into the closet. But like, there are gay Christians. They exist. Nobody is saying that Christians should not, by nature, exist. Or rather, there's like a handful of angry anti-theists who are probably saying that, and I said similar things to that back when I was an anti-theist, but generally speaking, I don't even see the most vocal sides of the atheist community arguing that Christians should not exist, or that one day they won't exist. The fact of the matter is, whether you agree with Christianity or not, you have to share the world with Christians. Whether you agree with paganism or not, you have to share the world with pagans. And whether you agree with atheism or not, you have to share the world with atheists. I think the goal that we should all be working towards is not which side can we oppress, because that's the world that Joel lives in. Joel lives in a world where either he gets to be the oppressor or the oppressee. There is no in-between for him. He cannot envision. He is, I would venture to say, too stupid to envision a world where gay people and Christians can be allies, despite him already living in a world where that's the fucking case across several churches, across several denominations. He cannot fathom a society where there is not a group of people that he can argue righteous indignation over. And I'm gonna be honest, I find that sad. I find the existence of Joel Webbon pathetic. Not because I want to look down on him, and I feel like I need that, but because there's a chance that one day I could have turned into him. Because when I grew up in Christian private school, these are the kind of things that I thought. I did not have as much of a grasp on politics or on social issues or anything like that, so I never got to get to this point. I never got to have the snowball effect that got me there. But I see a lot of what I could have been from childhood to here. And I know that had I turned into that person, there would be another person in my shoes right now looking down at me, calling me pathetic, and saying that, damn, that could have been them. Because I grew up in a Christian private school. I was told that gay people were evil. I was told that the earth was 6,000 years old. I was told so many lies by my church because of the private school I grew up in. When I see people like Joel, I don't see an enemy. I see a pathetic, groveling creature that is scared of the real world around him and would do anything in his power and hurt anyone in his path just to create a world where he is marginally more comfortable. And that's a sad existence for anyone to live. That all said, let me know what y'all think in the comments section below, and please consider checking out Overton as well. I'll have a link to the Steam page in the description, and remember, it's a project that I personally took part in, so I would really love if y'all would pick it up. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will definitely love to see you all in the next video. Insert end of video tagline here. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.